Welcome to week 2 of our NFL podcast, where today we're going to be talking about the week 6 power rankings. We're going to be talking about what kind of went down in week 5. Huge thing, Jets fired their coach, Robert Saleh. That was a huge topic. Like I said, we're going to go over the power rankings. We're going to talk about the Washington and the Ravens game. That game should be a huge game. Game of the week, in my opinion. Mahomes sucks. 6 touchdowns, 6 picks. What's wrong with Mahomes? Last year we talked about this. Can Kansas City figure it out? They obviously did. Without the refs, what are Kansas City, right? Josh Allen, is he concussed? I think that's a huge topic. A big hit last week. Josh Allen puts his body on the line. I respect it, but can he last all year with that type of play style? Devontae Adams, the trade, the Jets are a mess. We said they fired the coach, so should he still be interested in the Jets? The 49ers and the Bengals. Are the 49ers a bust? Never thought I'd have to say that this early in the year because the 49ers are star-studded. Are they going to figure it out? Are they not? The Bengals, how did the Bengals kind of go off that big game against the Ravens? Burrow had 5 touchdowns, 1 pick. How does that go? Lamar just barely was able to edge him out. And how does Philly fix themselves? So we've seen the beef with the head coach and Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts. Can they fix it? Focus on the run game a little bit more. A.J. Brown's back. Devontae Smith's back. So we got a lot to talk about. So,
yeah, I think that gets us right started. Pretty much at every point. I think we'll get right into the power rankings. Our 1 and 2 are definitely still the same. We got the Chiefs at 1, Vikings at 2. It's really hard to change this up. Both 5-0 teams, AFC, NFC. I give the Chiefs that little edge just because I feel like they're able to do it every week consistently.
And they just made Juju. Okay, I was listening to something earlier this week, and I'm gonna kind of talk about it a little bit. They took it. Kansas City just lost their number 1 receiver by far. Like they really had one main receiver. They just lost them, and they made Juju Smith-Schuster, who was just irrelevant in New England, looking like prime Jerry Rice. And then now we have...
Oh, that's a little far, bud.
Okay, a little far. And then Kareem Hunt, who was out of the NFL. Where did Kareem Hunt come from? And now he's running the ball, and they're just fine. And Kansas City still winning football games without their wide receiver 1, without their running back 1. Their tackles aren't that great. The right tackle false starts before every play.
He does.
Kansas City still doing it, so I like that at 1. Like I said, Minnesota's been hot. They're cooling off a little bit. Last week, London's
always going to be a rough game.
Regardless,
it's going to be all right.
Number 3, we got the Ravens, like self-explanatory, same spot. Great shootout with the Bengals. They comeback victory. Normally, I'm the one who says Ravens can't finish games. Ravens had a good little finish to that game, so it was a crazy game. Burrow went 5-1. Was Lamar 5-0, right?
4-0.
Okay, 4-0. Lions at 4. I still really like the Lions. Coming off a bye, should have a good lot of time to prepare. They're playing Dallas this week, so that should be a pretty good one. Honestly, they should blow them out because Dallas has no D-line right now. Parsons is out. Lawrence is out.
Yeah. And that leads us into 5, which is the Texans. I've seen a lot of people a lot higher on the Texans. I'm a little lower on them just because they beat the Jags by 3. Division game, I can't talk on that. Division games are always going to be rough. But then you go and beat the Bills by 3 points, a rough game. Not rough, just really tough battle the entire time, and that goes out to the end. A lot of these teams kind of stay in the same spots because of their bye week. So you got your Lions, your Chargers, your Eagles, and your Titans who all maintain the same spot because that's found the best way to do the power rankings this week. And then we got 6. One of the hottest teams in the league, if not the hottest team in the league.
I'd say the hottest team in the NFL.
You got the Commanders.
I like Daniels.
You got Jaden Daniels, who looks really good so far.
$250 a ticket for the Baltimore Ravens and Commanders this week. In my head, game of the week.
Yeah, the big idea for me is he hasn't really been tested against a solid defense. I was really looking at their schedule earlier, and they lost to the Buccaneers week 1, and I know they played the Giants, beat them with 7 field goals. Jaden Daniels just couldn't get in the engine that game.
Played the Browns.
They played the Browns, and their only game they looked really solid against. Well, they looked solid every game, but was the Cincinnati Bengals. That's the game I'll kind of give them credit for, 38-33 final score. But the Browns are kind of just this mid-team who you'll see down the power rankings down the line. They played the Cardinals, did all right. And I just don't know how high I am on them. I think this week will be a big week for them, and if they can get it done in Baltimore, then that'll be where you'll see the praise.
Yeah, those slide up.
Yeah,
at 7, we got Buffalo. We got Buffalo, self-explanatory, lost to Houston, good game. Yeah. It's hard to put Buffalo even anywhere close to outside the top 10. Atlanta, then the Bucs. So Falcons-Bucs, that was a really great primetime game. That was a credible ending. So I'm really high on the Falcons, actually. I really like Kirk Cousins.
I think it's a good coaching staff there as well. I think a lot of people sleep on them just because of their history, but I don't know. They seem to look really good, and I just think of the fact that they came to a really tough environment, the Bucs come to a tough environment and they can maintain it, even though they were really high on me. I was high with the Bucs as well, but they came to a tough environment and they hung out to overtime, and Kirko just got it done. Kirko 2 Chainz. I mean,
three game-winning drives already, and we're going into week 6.
Young Oku had a couple misses, some close misses. I believe he missed from 46.
That was kind of weird.
Got bailed out by all sides, and then missed the 41-yarder. But, I mean, what matters is you win the game. And
I still think it's huge that they have that big X factor Kyle Pitts, too.
Yeah,
Whether they use them or not.
Yeah, and that's why I got the Bucs one below the Falcons, and the Falcons at 8 with the Bucs at 9, only because of the fact they barely beat them, but Buccaneers came to the top.
I hate number 10, bro. I'm about sick of this.
Yeah.
The Cowboys at 10. They won a game against Pittsburgh at about midnight because I don't know.
1 in the morning.
I don't even know what was going on. But, okay, I'll give credit to Dak. I will say, game-winning drive, 4th down, game-winning throw. I'll give credit there. They won without their 2 best D-line. DeMarcus Lawrence is out. Micah Parsons is out. I'll give you credit for that. I'm not high on Pittsburgh, so I'll give you that. But I'm just sick of the Dallas story,
It gets
bro.
tough when you get to that 10. You get your first 9 that are really crucial. You got your bottom 5 who are always going to be around that same easy. But then, I was looking at these power rankings when I was making them. I was like, this is a really tough to throw this 10 in there. Which leads us to our 11. We got the Packers.
Yeah.
And it's like they had kind of had a rough week. They played the Rams. They pulled out the win. It's just it's really hard to kind of throw these teams up here in the top 10 based on who's playing who's winning. Because the sucky thing is you can't put a team above someone who they just lost to. So initially I had the Bucs above the Falcons, but then I was like, oh shoot, they lost. And it's like you can't really do that. Kind of the same way last week with the Bills and the Ravens. People wanted the Bills above, but it's just really hard whenever it's like you get that face-off and it's like a really good game. It's really hard to put the one team above the other, especially if they lost that game.
Yeah, and I think the coaches in Green Bay are doing really well.
Yeah.
I mean, especially the quarterback coaches. I mean, we saw Malik Willis go in there and win football.
Yeah, I think Jordan Love definitely rushed the injury back, but I mean, he looked a lot better this week. Had some pretty. I mean, it's a good game. If you go out there and you can win the game, then that's what matters at the end of the week, and they did it, and that's why they're my 11. 12, nothing to say here. Eagles at 12, bye week. They'll just maintain. 13, big one here. Got the 49ers.
They play tonight, as you guys know. So
Thursday Night Football
versus Seahawks. Where's that at? Is it in Seattle?
I think it's in Seattle, yes.
Okay, I thought so. It should be a good one. I think must win. I know we're going to talk about this probably a little bit later. I'm going to talk about it right now. Must win game for the Niners.
Yeah, we have a couple must win games this week if you want any chance at the playoffs. One, starting off with the 49ers, big division game. They can definitely use this. They typically go I wouldn't say 6-0, but typically they go 5-1, 4-2, 6-0. They're on the winning side of their division rival. Yeah. They've already gone down to the Cardinals, and they've already gone down to the Rams. You cannot lose to the Seahawks tonight. You need to win tonight.
And I think one of the biggest secrets is obviously going to be that secondary for Seattle. You just said we were talking about
Tariq Woolen is out,
that's
which
huge,
is big.
But also the secondary for the Niners and DK Metcalf. He's been having one big play touchdown.
Yeah,
I feel like the last
that 70-yard
weeks.
touchdowns can win the game.
So, and then Tyler Lockett, I mean, he's
a possession catch warrior. I mean, he's always getting down with the ball, and that's what matters. He gets the ball and he's in bounds.
So, how are they going to guard his receivers tonight? I really like Purdy. How's Purdy going to play tonight? I think he steps up. I think Kittle plays pretty well.
I think
they'll run the ball pretty well.
Right. I mean, realistically, I think it's a game that you must win, and that's where I'll give my prediction tonight. I'm going to give the 49ers the sneak out of the win.
27-20. I called it first.
28-24. And
I can even say game-winning field goal.
And I'm going to go 28-24, and it's going to be on the Seahawks just don't have the ball at the last time.
You think they go down to an onside kick and don't get it?
No, I think it's going to be 28-17. Niners are going to go up, and then Seahawks are going to score, and the 49ers are just going to close it out. A couple first downs, a couple crucial first downs.
Question,
at the end of the game.
Who do you think's going to start off hotter? Because I feel like the Niners always play this. They play first half football or they play second half football.
Last week it was not second half football. I mean, you could see they got outscored by the Cardinals 14-0. But tonight I'm definitely going to go 49ers 28-24. I don't think it's going to be that much of a shootout, but definitely a division game. I'm going to keep it nice and close.
All right.
I think definitely it really does depend on the secondaries on both sides of the ball. I think it could be really depending on if DK Metcalf can find an open spot down the field, if Geno Smith can connect that connection. And with Kenneth Walker, what he can do on the ground, I think it really comes down to who's going to get that first shot, the ball, halftime, whoever uses their time at the best, and the timeout. Everything
and who wins on the last drive.
Yeah, whoever gets the ball when it matters, and whoever can get those first downs to seal the deal. And that's why I'm going to take the Niners in a must-win game against the Seahawks, 28-24 tonight.
I'm right there with you. Let's continue on. So we got Pittsburgh. I'm still sick of seeing all the TV debating Fields and Wilson. Fields is winning games. Now, if he loses this week, then you get a little bit of who do they play? I'm pretty sure it's a decent opponent. I can't remember.
Steelers?
Yeah, if you want to look that up really quick. I'm going to keep going.
Nah, they have us here.
Seattle's at 15. We just talked about that. And the Saints at 16. Derek Carr. Derek Carr's not even starting this week.
That is true.
It's Rattler, right?
Yeah. And also,
out of
and
nowhere.
that
I
takes
just think
us
that's so weird.
And that takes us to the Steelers game. They play the Raiders. Aiden O'Connell's getting the start, and they are in Las Vegas.
It's just, I don't know.
another
The quarterback
big game.
Like the Saints, like what do you think about that? The Saints switching their quarterback. I mean, Derek Carr. I mean, I know first 2 weeks.
I
of
like Derek
football,
Carr. I like Derek
So
Carr.
do I. First 2 weeks of football, he's an MVP candidate.
Yeah, right.
And now he's just on the bench.
And I mean that happens with a lot of guys. You got your first couple weeks who they don't look as great, and then it's just like in the blink of an eye, they're back up to the top of the leaderboard. I mean, they're carrying their team to these wins. Did you mention the Seahawks at 15?
Yeah.
Okay, so we move on from that. Yep. Rams at 17 lost the game to the Packers,
And
but I
have
still
no
think they're
receiving
pretty
core?
solid. But when those receivers come back, I think Matthew Stafford's going to continue that connection.
I can see a
And
9 and 8 type of year.
I can see them getting it done and maybe sneaking wild card with the competition in the NFC. That leads us down to the Chargers. Chargers want to buy, keep them at 18.
Yeah.
Quick talk
The
with
Chargers
them.
really quick. It's gonna be tough for Herbert because he's had 3 years, 3 offensive coordinators. I'm pretty sure, like the last 3. So it's just tough for him to find a rhythm.
But with Jim Harbaugh coming in, I
and
think
he's
that
a
could
really
be
running-oriented coach. I think he's a credible coach. I'm really curious to see
And
the
then you
next
can see
5
J.K.
years,
Dobbins. J.K.
what
Dobbins
next
getting
5
really
years
started.
what the Chargers do. I know it's kind of a longer span. But I'm excited to see what they do.
Yeah, and that leads us down to the Bengals at 19. Played a really great game against the
I
Ravens
told you, I
this
think they're
week.
gonna figure it out.
1-4, I believe I saw something saying 6% chance at a 1-4 team making the playoffs. I personally don't think the Bengals are going to get it done. I think they're going to have a lot more tough division opponents with the Steelers and the Browns.
That's true.
And I think they go 1-1 with each of the teams. And I think it's just realistically a really hard thing to get by. And you're already this far down. You need to win those games. One against the Commanders. You got the Baltimore game last week, blowing a 10-point lead late. We know a lot about it, but I mean, it'll get you. And that right at the end of the game is when it's really crucial. And if you're not going to finish those games, you're not going to make the playoffs and you're not going to perform late in the year, January come February.
I'll pick back up here. We got the Colts. Anthony Richardson's not
He was
playing.
questionable. I'm not sure if he's playing.
Okay.
I think it's still up for grabs this Thursday night. So.
Bears 21. Bears beat the Panthers, and everybody's
And they
freaking
blew
out
them
about
out.
Caleb Williams. Oh my gosh.
They blew them out. 36-10. I mean, I didn't watch too much of it, but I do know.
I mean, it's the Bears who watch it.
36 points, yeah.
Bears, Panthers, who's throwing them out on the
36
TV?
points is 36 points, and that's why they're up in 21. 22, I got the Giants. Definitely got a shocking win beating Seattle.
Bro, I bet on that. I bet on no, bro.
On a blocked field goal by Isaiah
Like,
Simmons.
bro, what?
With that blocked field goal really sealed the deal. And I mean, I think you can call that luck based. He did jump over the center, which props for him for getting. If you get up and you don't use the center for elevation, you can get over the line, which he did, and he blocked it. And it's funny because the Seahawks, my whole life as I'm growing up, the Seahawks that master that move with Bobby Wagner and all these bigger guys jumping over, and you got Isaiah Simmons just coming over the line. Yeah, and it's just he jumped and blocked it, and they took it back to the house and sealed the deal. That leads us down to the Cardinals. Definitely had a big win this week against the Niners with 23. I think the Cardinals can definitely go. They could.
Dude, they were just up there.
They looked good a couple weeks. I think they could.
Harrison hasn't done much last few weeks though.
Yeah. But I think this could be a big week for them, and I think definitely coming off a win like that, you've got to have confidence going into week 6 this week, going against the Packers at 1 o'clock Sunday.
That should be a good one. I think Green Bay will win it, but
I feel like they always have a pretty nice game, but
it'd be tough to rank Arizona if they win it though.
It will be because
Broncos at 24. I don't think there's much to talk about there.
Right. They beat the Raiders, had a nice little win.
Okay, which is the Raiders are at 25. The Jets at 26. They're falling apart. What is the organization? Aaron Rodgers has so much pressure on his shoulders right now.
And I mean, he even took a nice little fall and got hurt.
What's he going to do?
London.
Dolphins. They're on their third string quarterback.
Yeah, no quarterback. Yeah. Can't really get Tyreek going.
Lots of problems, yeah.
That's going to be big. 28 takes us down to the Jags. Had a big win against the Colts this week. Snuck them up a little bit. Not high on them. Still questionable with Doug Peterson and
I think
Trevor
next
Lawrence.
week it'll be switched because the Patriots are going to beat the Jags.
That's in London, which Jags is like London's home field. So
Truth.
Patriots at 29. Not much to say.
Titans.
Rough, ugly game against them. Titans stay at 30 bye week.
Drake May starting. There we go. I got something to talk about the Patriots. Drake May starting.
31 takes us down to the Panthers.
Wow,
Do you want to mention the Patriots?
Yeah,
right,
good. I got one thing to talk about. Drake May starting, so I'm excited for that. Do I think it'll go really well? No, I think we'll get a touchdown or two, though, which is a celebration since we just can't score touchdowns.
I mean, yeah.
Jacoby Brissett's been
any given Sunday gives you a chance to win a game.
Yeah, so, I think I think if Drake May wins it, it's big for him.
And then you got your bottom two teams, 31 Panthers. I mean, the Panthers just ride the 30s. They don't really get out of there. It's just kind of.
And the Browns at 32.
Browns at 32, the worst team. Simple as that.
You knew me. That's the Browns.
Behind Deshaun Watson. I mean, Amari Cooper with a drop. Amari Cooper still not. Definitely some trade calls for Amari Cooper. They shot them all down. But
I don't care. The best.
Deshaun Watson's just not getting it done. And that's simple.
The Browns are new year, new me, man. Every year.
I mean,
right or wrong.
Crazy.
We saw what happened to Mayfield when he got out of there. I always liked Mayfield.
That was success.
Yeah, so
let's pause it right here. We don't know the time we're at.
I texted you. Do you have a timer going or at all?
No.
Heard that.
Okay, so what are we at? I don't know when we started.
We're probably about 15 minutes in.
So what do you want to go to 30 and then stop, or you want to go to 30?
2 maybe.
32. Okay. All
right.
So let's just talk about the Commanders Ravens.
I got it.
Let's get 10 minutes. Or no, we'll hit Josh Allen. No, we'll hit Mahomes and the Commanders. You talk about a lot about the Commanders and the Ravens, and I'll talk about Mahomes.
30 minutes and it's done.
No, 30 minutes, and we got to reset it and do it for another 25
If my camera
minutes.
records for 30 and
Talk
shuts
about
off.
how much longer Deshaun Watson is at the start before he gets benched.
Type that in there somewhere. I'd say under around
Okay.
a solid.
Well, then I'll mention right now because we're talking about the Browns right now because they're at 32.
Okay,
Okay, so
hold
go
on.
quiet and I'll get back into it. Yeah, I mean, with the Browns, definitely the worst. Deshaun Watson's the worst starter, in my opinion. He just can't get it done. The Browns are just the worst team in the league. And that leads you to the question, when do you think the Browns will bench him? I don't know who their backup is, but Stefanski said this week that he will not be benched. And it's like, I really think that's a dumb decision. You're not winning games. You're not competing in games. I think it comes to the point you really have to get him off the starting. And whenever they realize that, could be 2 weeks, 2 weeks, 3
DTR
weeks.
and Jameis Winston. I was gonna say I knew it was somebody legit.
Winston is the guy they've been talking about. DTR, I don't think we'll get it. I think Jameis Winston, a veteran, a guy who can go out there and get the win. And I think
can see that.
He
I
could
can
be
see
the
him
guy.
going and winning a football
He
game.
could be the guy to go out there and get it. And I think that's really what it comes to.
Their receivers aren't even trash. I have their whole roster. They've David Njoku at tight end, Jerry Jeudy receiver, Amari Cooper at receiver.
Well, and Joe can miss a couple weeks, but I think
he
he's back
does.
this
Joe
week.
Batonio at guard. I'm trying to look at anybody I really.
Yeah,
Miles.
so.
I mean, it's just this team should not be the 32nd team in the NFL. It's just the
Exactly.
organization. Same thing with
And
the
it's
Jets.
really
The
Deshaun
Jets
Watson.
should not be at like
Deshaun
27.
Watson is holding them back, and I want to see how they perform with a guy like Jameis
Denzel
Winston.
Ward and Grant Delpit. Like they have stars. Like they have football players.
That
I mean,
is
it's
true.
not like a bunch of Panther players running around.
No.
And
And that'll lead us
Now it's kinda
into
messed up.
that'll wrap up our power rankings, and that'll lead us now to our next big
so
topic.
first big topic: Commanders versus Ravens game of the week. Just posted on my Instagram. Should be a huge game. I'm excited to watch this one. Baltimore's coming off. I mean, Lamar played incredible coming off that big game. The Commanders, Jay Daniels is playing the best football. Obviously of his life, but he just broke that record we talked about last week. 82%, I think, completion percentage for the first 4 games of his NFL career.
Yep.
I mean, that's never happened. That's never happened for a 4-game stretch of an NFL quarterback in his career.
Right.
And Jay Daniels just did it in his, I think, first 4, or maybe not the first one counted, but the next 4. So either way, 4 of the first 5 games in his career. And I mean, that's impressive. $250 tickets, so it's like, I mean, that'd be a big one. I hope that it's not a blowout because it should be a good game. I'm happy to see it's Cliff Kingsbury, if I could speak. There we go. Head coach for the Commanders, and Jane Daniels. They're clicking really well, and it's really nice. We've seen it with Reed and Mahomes. We've seen it, which we're going to talk about in a second. We've seen it with Brady and Belichick. When you have a great coaching quarterback and they click really well, what happens is incredible. So we've seen it with Breeze and Sean Payton.
That's right.
So I mean, I'm glad that they found their guy. I really, really am, because we heard a lot of great things about Daniels coming out of the draft.
Yeah.
I'm gonna think what it comes down to, I think, is how Jaden Daniels handles pressure, and not just pressure. Okay, we're playing a big game against the Ravens,
Right.
but front 7. The Ravens have a good front 7. How can he handle the blitz? I mean, they have a solid defense. Like, how can he handle that?
Yeah.
The secondary. I mean, Kyle Hamilton. Who had a big? Humphrey. Humphrey had a big pick that won the game. He kind of cut off that route.
Yeah.
So you're only going to be able to run the same route so many times against a guy like that. He's a real
Yeah.
big physical corner. Scary Terry. That's a big matchup. Can Terry prove himself?
Yep.
I will say though, if the Commanders win this game, they prove themselves to the whole entire nation.
Yeah.
I'm excited to watch it.
Battle Maryland, DMV. I mean, gonna be.
I wish I was going.
Gonna be a game.
All right, go right ahead. I'll let you pick up.
And that takes us down to our next big topic, which I kind of touched on a lot. Mahomes. Mahomes sucks.
Word.
He is probably the number 1 quarterback in the NFL, but he is not that good. And I mean, there's stats to prove it. So
6-6.
he gets the win. A lot of people say the refs, which I think as well. But I'm not big on saying cheating scandals. I think it's just crazy to say that this guy has thrown 6 touchdowns and 6 interceptions.
They favored to win the MVP right now.
And one is to a defensive lineman, which is that guy was running. He was going.
I'm gonna try. If I can, I'm going to put the clip on there.
He
That
looked
boy
like
was
Najee
moving.
Harris running down the sideline. I mean, seriously. It's insane.
Bro, we watched it live, and they were talking about how his brother was a backup dancer for
Yes.
Taylor Swift,
And
and he
then
goes,
he
"Oh,
just
there he is."
intercepts
He's just
running down the sideline.
like a Roblox character running
And,
down the sideline.
I just think, I mean, it's and he's got some other bad picks, and it's like you can't just keep
Dude,
putting
the one
this guy
he threw,
at
the one where Rasheed Rice got hurt.
Yeah.
What was that?
He aired it, then took out his number 1 receiver for the rest of the year, which was an LCL repair. in his hamstring, and he's gone for the rest of the year. And that's really sad to see for a young guy, really. But I mean, he's also fighting stuff off the field, which he needs to figure out the felony charges and everything else.
Yeah.
On that.
Now, outside of Mahomes sucks, I'll give credit to Andy Reid, and I think I can't say this enough. They just went in there with Kareem Hunt, a backup running back, because Pacheco's out, and then the number one receiver's out. Most teams in this spot are falling apart, not winning football games.
But then you have a guy
Kansas
like
City
Mahomes.
still wins a football game.
Yeah, I just think Mahomes, he is still the best quarterback in the league. He's got the most talent. It hurts to say it, but realistically, 6 interceptions, he's got to tidy that up. I mean, nobody's been on pace like this and then gone out and stepped up and won the Super Bowl or MVP and with a 3-peat, and then people want him to win the MVP.
That's what I was trying to look up, and I got me.
That's just not really going to happen. He better straighten it up now and start throwing more touchdowns than interceptions, 100%. That leads me down to my next topic, Josh Allen concussion. I saw him take a big hit on banged his head on the ground, bang play, and it's just like those small hits just rattle in the helmet, and that'll really mess your head up. And we've seen Tua go through a ton of injuries like that, and you really hate to see it. Josh Allen got up, walked over his own power, and continued to play. So that's what the great thing is to see. He didn't spend time out, but I think it really is a quick little mention with the injury. Yeah. Big guy who definitely is one of the better quarterbacks in the league, and you hate to see somebody go down like that. So I'm really happy to see he got up and continued playing because, he is one of the most skillful players in the NFL. You love watching him play each week.
Yeah. Moving on, Devontae Adams, the trade, we touched on this last week, so we're not gonna yap about it too much. But the Jets are a mess, so it's like, Devontae, do you really want to go from the Raiders, who are a mess, absolute awful organization? Do you really want to be like, oh, I'm gonna go and do what Rodgers was supposed to do and fix the Jets and be a superhero? Because say you try and do that, when Rodgers leaves or retires or whatever he does, Adams, what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
To me, I think it's hard to say. I really think Washington's not a bad fit, not a bad fit.
Yeah,
James Daniels is young.
I saw something saying they're out of race as well as the Ravens and the Steelers.
I don't know. I think it'd be great for them.
I still think every team's in contention, but a lot of people are saying the Jets, and I don't think it'd be. He wants a ring. He wants a guy throwing to him that's good. Don't go to the Jets. You're not getting a ring. And
yeah. Also,
you get Rodgers for a year, maybe 2, but other than that, then you're throwing your own career away. Which I think your best chance to go to a young team that's really striving right now. And we won't put names, but I really think that he should make the best decision for him and kind of try and actually chase his ring, and I think he deserves one. And with that Jets mess, it leads us to Robert Saleh being fired this week out of nowhere. I'm sitting in school and I hit my phone hits up and it's Robert Saleh fired. Just took my math test and it's like boom, bang, bang, bang. He's just out of there, quick as that. And it's like, what could happen? And it's like coming to be a defensive head coach coming from San Francisco, and it's like, San Francisco, take him back. Really better that defense and get yourself back up to a top 10
Somebody had
team.
to say it.
Yeah, I really think it's like insane that he got fired like that. And the owner said,
the coordinator's fault.
Yeah, and a lot
Rodgers
of people
threw a pick 6, so they gave up 17 points to one of the hottest teams in the NFL. 17 points to one of the hottest teams in the NFL, and they fired the head coach.
Yeah, I think
offensive coordinator's problem.
It's just with the losses when you're losing games, it goes to the coach, and I think it's crazy that. He's such a defensive coach, and that defense looks really, really good with guys like Quincy Williams and Quentin Williams, and it's like
too much star power.
Sauce Gardner, who also struggled with an injury on Sunday in London. But I think it's like you got a lot of talent back there, and don't put it to waste. And with him getting fired out of nowhere, it's like Bill Belichick.
I'm gonna make the call to Bill. I was about to pick the phone up and say it,
he can do the funniest thing of all time and go in there and coach the Jets.
Pick the phone up and call Bill.
But realistically, the defensive coordinator stepped up as interim head coach for now, and we'll see how that goes going into Sunday. But they could definitely start falling apart, which obviously isn't going to leave Rodgers happy. Owner said that Rodgers had nothing to do with the fire of Robert Saleh, but I don't know. We'll have to see. I don't think he was that bad. I think there was worse coaches, but I don't know if there were worse coaches in his position, losing games every week and having a guy like Rodgers.
It was Super Bowl or bust. So.
Yeah, and that's what it really is. And I feel bad for the guy, but we'll see what he does with his career, and we'll look in to see what the Jets are doing for head coach.
I'm going to be paying close attention in the next few weeks.
Yep. Yeah, definitely with his career, Robert Saleh, you'd hate to see. You hate to see it. And last week we even talked about it. Him being number 1 on the hot seat, number 3, number 2, whatever he was right behind Doug Peterson, who actually got a win this week, which was very, very big for him, coming out and putting up a big game against the Colts. And I believe earlier we messed it up and said the Jags played the Patriots. I don't want to cut anybody off, but yes, Jags play the Bears in London this week and then play Patriots the following week, which is definitely a big thing. Hot seat. If he can win these 2 games, he can flip his season around That'll help Doug Peterson and the Jags out a lot. Got a lot going on. 49ers a bust. Next category. Let's get into it.
No!
The
The Niners are not a bust. Deebo Samuel, George Kittle, Brock Purdy's not a system quarterback. Don't say it. Trent Williams, there we go. Trying to think. So much offensive talent. I don't even have to name a defensive player. Kyle Shanahan's an offensive genius. He's an amazing head coach. Now, can he finish the Super Bowl? Absolutely not. But that's not the conversation right now. They have so much offensive power. Amazing head coach. They've this core group that's been together. They will figure stuff out.
Yeah.
And do not tell me he's a bust. Or a bust system quarterback.
I think definitely I'm not on the much of a glaze type of side as the Niners. I've just not always been big on them. I don't know. Brock Purdy's not the one system quarterback, but you can put guys in San Francisco and see so much more success more success.
No. I just don't want to hear you say
the 49ers are a bust without Christian McCaffrey. Simple as that.
I want to flip my table right now.
If you
the Niners are not a bust!
If you look at the digits and you look at the teams, the 49ers are a really good team, and I'm not hating on them. I like seeing them play.
So, hold on, no, stop. I'm going to ask you one time. Do you think Brock Purdy's a system quarterback?
Partially. But I think...
Partially?
Partially. Yes, he is partially a system quarterback. I think, at times, you could put other guys in the game, and they will do just as good, if not better. His interceptions have been
So if I
put
put Sam Darnold in there...
Yeah, give me Sam Darnold. With the year Sam Darnold's having, put him in the 49ers offense with Christian McCaffrey in that backfield.
You're telling me all the plays Purdy's made this year?
I'm just saying. I think there's other guys who can do it better. I'm high on the Niners.
You're gonna get me mad.
I'm high on the Niners. I'm high on the Niners.
Oh no, you're high on the Niners.
I think that they're maybe top 10. They snuck out of my top 10. It's just the division games. You got to win this division game. Cardinals, big loss. And then Rams.
If the Ravens lose to freaking Bengals, it's fine, right? Next topic, Bengals. Not going to get you yapping about the Ravens. Bengals played a great game. Burrow went 5-1. One pass that was maybe overthrown just a little bit on a slant.
Or played better by the corner.
Humphrey plays an amazing. He's a physical style corner. Ran to a drag, slant, whatever you want to call it. All right. Not a great throw. Not a great route. They've been running all game.
Here's a guy.
Great play. Joe Burrow played great football. I think the Bengals figure out, you said it earlier, 1-4, 6% chance to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
I think they do it. I think they're 9-win team. I think it comes down to the last game. And maybe somebody wins at the end and the Bengals win and it was like, oh, they need to win, they need to lose, and they don't get in. I think it's really close.
And this is where they come to me for the guy that knows ball, because that's not happening. 1-4?
No,
that's not happening.
Back on week 18, run it back on film.
That's not happening. And look, I'll pull up their schedule right now because we got time to do it. And I'll show here and I'll talk through each one of these games. You know what? They're losing to the Giants. In a must-win game, they're losing to the Giants on Monday Night Football or Sunday Night Football. They will lose to the Giants. Malik Neighbors will come back. Even though he didn't practice, he will come back and they will dice up the Bengals defense. And Joe Burrow will shiver. And he's gonna fold.
When has Joe Burrow ever folded?
He's gonna fold, and it's gonna happen.
When has he ever folded?
And I'm with the Giants.
Situation when Joe Burrow's folded.
And actually, a must-win game. Give me the Giants. Give me the Giants to shock the world. And if they don't, so be it. Because it doesn't mean nothing. At the end of the day, it's a must-win game for the Bengals. But give me the sleeper Giants.
You believe in Daniel Jones more than
I believe in a team who just came out and beat the Seahawks in a thriller and a blocked field goal return for the game winning. Give me the Giants on Sunday Night Football.
Oh, for the team that just played on one.
Look at you.
The game with the Ravens.
Look at you. See? Hey, look. You can't even speak this because it's nonsense. It's nonsense. The Giants are ballers, and they will come out and they will beat the Bengals on primetime and eliminate them from playoff contention in Week 6.
You're the type of guy that give Daniel Jones $40 million.
Now, here's the type of guy. They get the Browns, a division matchup. They're not winning all these divisional games.
How do you fix the Eagles?
They're not beating the Browns. No, we're not going to skip past this yet. You're not going to beat the Browns twice. You're not going to beat the Steelers twice. And you're already lost to the Ravens once. Big division games. You have the Eagles as well, the Chargers, the Cowboys, and the Broncos, which isn't a good team. That's just the other team on their schedule. But there's division games. They're going to get tight, and they're going to be hard to win. And I don't think they pull off the playoff. The playoff. It's just not going to happen. But that leads us into the next thing. Philadelphia.
I got it. How do the Eagles, okay, my voice is shot. How do the Eagles fix themselves? Focus on the run game. Amazing O-line. Saquon Barkley, one of the top 3 running backs in the league. My voice is cracked.
Yeah, and you would hate to see it. They got the Browns this week, and it's like, You would hate to see 2 big losses in 1 week and eliminating them from playoff contention.
Hey, Francisco Lindor!
And with Philadelphia
Conference Series.
already taking a big loss against the Mets, and that's our baseball scheme for the week.
Pete Alonso.
Tune in next week.
Bang!
But back to the football. Philadelphia.
Hold on 1 second before we go back to football. A go-ahead grand slam to send to next.
This is a football podcast. Stick to the football.
It was a beautiful slam. Anyway, AJ Brown, Devontae Smith are back.
Yeah.
The Eagles' offense is back. Mm-hmm. What do you think about their defense?
I mean, they're coming off.
Fix my voice.
They're coming off a bye week. I think they have guys who can get it done. I don't think they're coached perfectly well. I think Sirianni's got another season in him. I don't know what his contract looks like.
Hot take. I'm gonna try and speak, but hot take. I think he's done by the end of this year. I think Sirianni's going. I think they're going. I think Sirianni's going because when you pay Jalen Hurts all this money, if it's not working, Jalen Hurts will not be the problem.
But
will be
the big thing
head
is
coach.
You're gonna give him the time, and guys don't just get fired out of nowhere without having a good year.
We just saw him with the Jets, did we not?
Yes, but that's because they haven't had success. Unless he wins only 2 more, 3 more games for the rest of the year, he will be in the coach for next year. Unless he sees a lot of years of just not successful years at all. That's just simply how it's going to be. And, I mean, they're having guys come back like A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith, and it's like you're having these receivers come back after the bye week. You got to hope you come out and you got to win a must-win game against the Browns, against the worst team. The worst team, yes. There can be too much time on the bye week, and that could hurt you. Browns are the worst team in the league. Give me the Eagles, 100%. The Eagles got to win this game. It's a must-win.
If the Eagles lose it, they're done.
Most likely, yes. They're in a terrible.
They are done.
They're not in too great of a position. I mean, it hurts. It comes to the point. Thanks to the guys in the back of that water for him. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And then back to it. I mean, you got the Eagles a must-win game. You don't want to see 2 L's in Philly in 1 week. Then you might see some violence down there in Philly, and I don't want to see a part of it. Seriously. Back to it. Back to it. We'll get to. Actually, let me go back for the Bengals 1 second before we continue. Must-win game for the Bengals. But a lot of people said must-win game last week, and this is your last chance at a must-win game. So I said I took the Giants. Thought more about it. I still want to see the Giants win. Division rival. You hate to see the division rival win. But if the Giants don't get it done, this is the Bengals' last chance. This is the Bengals' last absolute chance at a must-win game to continue to see success in their year.
No.
1-5, you're pushing. I don't even know if that's ever possible. And Joe Burrow's not that guy. Joe Burrow's not that guy. He already struggles through injury through his career. He's not that guy to get it done at 1-5. He's not. It's simple as that.
Okay, moving on. I'm going to try. My voice is cooked, but I'm going to try. George Pickens. This clip at the end of the game, he grabs the face mask, slings the defender. I can't tell you who it is. No discipline.
That's not a discipline. And when you're in a professional aspect like this and you're playing the game for a living, I mean, you've definitely seen the clip of him when he was getting drafted. I mean, he looks, you can just see he's going to be trouble. Call him NFL young boy, some may say. But, I mean, seriously, it comes to the point where it's like, you have to have discipline in the sport of football. And
now, I will say, this I find weird, and you're probably going to say it's a discipline, which is a reasonable answer. But name another decent receiver on the Steelers. My point. So, there's the George Pickens gets the 3rd most snaps out of receivers on the team. And before this discipline problem, the last play of the game or whatever, was there anything before that?
I think definitely. I think it's got to be discipline before the play. Discipline because of the fact that he has issues with the sideline and everything. I think it's just a discipline issue overall. And I mean, it's just not the greatest thing to do. You hate to see that look. I wouldn't like to see that out of my receivers. You want to see discipline, and teams played well. And yeah, I mean that goes to the Cowboys. Cowboys played a good game. You can't really just get mad at the end, which, Cowboys leads back to the Eagles.
I was going to hit on this new topic, Max Crosby.
Yeah.
I mean, Max Crosby, okay, you're probably like, okay, well, what the heck is he talking about? Does he get traded?
Nah. I mean, I saw they said they want a package deal.
Detroit, man.
Package
deal. Adams.
Devontae Adams and Max Crosby.
To Detroit. On the other side, Aiden Hutchinson, who has 6.5 sacks. He's leading the NFL in sacks right now. Aiden Hutchinson's playing like T.J. Watt. Max Crosby, Aiden Hutchinson,
I don't see
Devontae Adams. That's a Super Bowl team.
He wasn't in.
That is a Super Bowl team.
He wasn't in Devontae Adams' top 8 teams or whatnot. So I don't think the Lions go.
Well, if he goes to the Jets, he's going to an organization falling apart.
The other thing, that's why I think it's the Jets, because they have Hassan Reddick, who's requested a trade and hasn't played a snap. I think I can see him going to Las Vegas, taking a square to Las Vegas. Although I don't think they go on a package deal. I think the Raiders would be very stupid to give away their entire offense and their defense in one deal. That's very dumb.
I will agree with that wholeheartedly. We know Adams wants to leave. I don't think they should.
And you wouldn't see a team so stacked to the point where it's like, oh, this is genuinely the best team in the league by far. And I think if you give him Max Crosby, if you give him Max Crosby and you give him Devontae Adams, you would say by far this is the best roster we've seen. Can they perform? Well, with Dan Campbell, coach. And yeah,
2017.
Sticking in the NFC, you got talent like the Eagles, which you just mentioned. That takes us to the Giants. Malik Neighbors did not practice today. That's big. You got a big game, like we just said, Sunday night against the Bengals. Must-win game for both teams.
Today is Thursday.
Yes, today is Thursday. He did not practice Thursday. That is great. Not great. Very bad.
That is great. Very bad.
That is.
Okay. Now going off of this, Anthony Richardson for the Colts did practice.
Yeah.
So I think that's huge because a lot of times you're nothing if you don't have a star quarterback.
But whoa, don't sleep on Joe Shiesty. The correct Joe Shiesty.
Flacco takes off the
Joe
first
Flacco. Jamar Flaxson is that guy. He is if I'm not gonna get this talking about. I'm just saying, Joe Flacco, he has gotten it done, and he is a veteran quarterback, standing at 6'6". Most of y'all didn't know that. I didn't know that until a couple years back. He will dice your defense, and he'll use those legs when he needs to. So I don't think it's the biggest downfall, but you'd hate to see that continue to get hurt. And yeah, Malik Neighbors.
As we start to kind of slowly wrap this up, give me your game of the week. Pull up the schedule. Give me your game of the week. I'll give you mine.
Let's talk through the games of the week. I'll talk through each of them, and then we'll go game of the week. Starting tonight, 8:15 p.m. on Prime at Seattle. We got 49ers at Seattle. Must-win game for either team.
No.
Must-win team for the Niners. I thought they had the same record, but they do not. The Niners win this game, they are beating the Seahawks in the division, which might put them in first, right or wrong, maybe not. I think it really because they fall down to the Rams and the Cardinals, which are two big games. And they typically go 4-2, 5-1, sometimes even 6-0 against their division. So whenever if you lose 3 division games right off like that, no, just dare I say it, they missed the playoffs. Dare I say it. We'll let the weeks develop. But if you go 0-3 in your division in the first 6 weeks, that is awful. You would hate to see that. You could see them sneaking in a wild card. But if you lose this week against Seattle goes to 4-2, Niners go to 2-4. Seattle's clear front runner for that division. And that's not even a hot take.
Wait, you're just saying there's a chance the Niners don't make.
Now I'm saying it. With injury, yes. And you can't say that doesn't make sense. That all makes sense. If the Niners do not win tonight, they go to 2 games behind the Seahawks. They've lost 0-3 to their division opponents, and they're 2 games behind the Seahawks, who have the tying win. The Rams have the tying win, and the Cardinals have the tying win as of now, unless the Niners tied up later in the year.
I will tell you, it'd be a dang shame.
Which I think they lost in the Rams. Well, they might have been home against the
all
Cardinals.
Of a sudden, the Niners can't hold a lead in a game that's not a Super Bowl.
Yeah, I mean, getting outscored 14-0 in a second half in your hometown. What's on that whole West Coast? Whatnot, obviously. This is the whole NFC West. But, you really got to get it done tonight, and that's what it is. And
I
that's
agree.
First game of the week.
Jacksonville, Chicago. So, at Chicago.
Yeah. No, not at Chicago. In London. Which we just noticed.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
But they're the home team.
Yeah, I'll run through these teams. I'll run through these games right quick. We'll go.
I got no voice.
The Jags, Bears. Not much to talk about. If you want to lose sleep and get up at 9:30, good luck for you. Me, I'll be sleeping. So, in that game though, give me the Jags to get it done in London. Commanders, Ravens, 4-1. Commanders at the 3-2 Ravens. 1 a.m. or 1 p.m.
Give me the
game.
Bears.
1 p.m. game. Big game for both teams here. Commanders' first real game to get something done here, and you really got to get it done in Baltimore. And if you don't, it looks like you're frauds. James Anderson versus the real first defense, getting his warm welcome into Baltimore and the state of Maryland. Well, let's see what it looks like. Solid game, good defense, 2 talented quarterbacks, MVP race quarterbacks. Give me the Ravens.
7 will decide that game.
Yeah, give me the Ravens.
Secondary team, maybe though. So.
Yeah, and then we'll go to the next 1 p.m. game. If I say 1 a.m. 1 a.m. Speaking of 1 a.m., Dak Prescott's the first quarterback to throw 2 interceptions in back-to-back days in the same NFL game. That's what happens when you have weather delays. Cardinals, Packers. Cardinals at Packers, 2-3 at 3-2. Give me the Packers to get it done at home. I think that's going to be simply how it is.
I think the Cards make it a 3-point game now.
I think it could be a close, maybe touchdown game, 7-point game, 4-point game. Texans, Patriots. In New England.
Come on. Drake May's first career start.
Drake May start? Give me the upset. Give me the Patriots to get it done at home versus the Texans. To give the Texans their big first, second loss. I mean, that's just, you don't really want to lose a big loss. but they haven't had a big first loss, and that's when it comes to the Patriots. Patriots get it done in New England, upset. Give me it. Upset of the week right there. Buccaneers Saints in New Orleans. You got a big division game here. Game that means a lot. Buccaneers at 3-2, Saints at 2-3. In the Saints are cooling down. Derek Carr's not getting the start. Rashid Shaheed said he'll be okay. We'll have to see how that looks. Give me Buccaneers by 10. Browns, Eagles.
Everyone's playing the best football of his life. Browns coming off 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
I like Mayfield. The Saints are falling apart. And they're starting, Rattler?
Something like that. Who knows?
What are we doing? Move on.
Yeah. Browns, Eagles, must-win game for the Eagles. Get it done this week, or you might be in shambles. Don't lose to the Browns. That's all I got to say. Deshaun Watson.
advice.
Don't lose to Deshaun Watson and then Francisco Lindor in the same week. That's all I'm saying. 2 guys that got a lot of money, started rough, look better. Deshaun Watson does not look better. Don't lose to Deshaun Watson. Should be a simple game. Handle it out in Philadelphia. Colts, Titans, big division game. Titans coming off the bye. Give me the Colts with Flacco at start. Anthony Richardson, you got to watch that injury. He practiced today. I just want to see Flacco start again. I love seeing Flacco play. But I think Richardson will get the start, and I don't know. He practiced it. It's Thursday, but Titans. Give me the Titans get it done. Give me the Titans get it done. Go to 2-3.
Broncos and Chargers. Who really cares about it?
Chargers, Broncos. This first 4 or 5 game. We'll kind of fly through these few unless they're good games. Give me the Chargers. Get the run game down with J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards. We'll fly through that. Steelers, Raiders.
Raiders have no Adams. Steelers win it.
Give me.
They're falling apart.
And I'll take your opposite pick then. Give me Mad Max to cause some havoc and mess that game up a lot. Chasing Justin Fields on a lot.
Next one's a big one.
Falcons, Panthers. Close division game. You got your 3-2. Hot Falcons rolling into Carolina. 1-4 Panthers. I think this game will be a lot closer than it needs to be. As long as it's 10-9, give me the Falcons. Falcons win this game by 1, but don't lose this game, and that's big. If you go red hot like this and you lose to the Panthers, don't do it. Give me the Falcons to get it done in Carolina in a close game, which should not be as close. My potential game of the week: Lions, Cowboys in Dallas. 3-1 versus 3-2. Cowboys coming off a big win. Lions coming off the bye. Lions a top 5 team. Cowboys a top 10 team this week for us. I really think that the Cowboys are
at 10, by the way,
keeping it close. I think the Cowboys are going to keep it close. I think it's going to come down to a 4-point, come down to who gets the ball last. Give me Lions by 4 late in the game. Sunday Night Football, big game. Must win for the Bengals. Look, we already hit on this. Bengals Giants in New York. Give me the Giants, like I already said, to get it done in a close game. Daniel Jones gets it done. The defense really stands up and stops Joe Burrow. Last game, Monday Night Football. Jets, Bills. Crazy to say. Jets win this game. They're first in the AFC East. And that's what's insane to say. And I think in a must-win game, you give a guy like Rodgers, even though their coach just got fired, give it like the most packed game of the week. Give me the Jets to get it done in a crazy week. Firing your head coach a week later, taking the division. Give me Rodgers to get it done against the Bills on a struggle night by Josh Allen. Now, big question, game of the week. Looking through all these options, it's really hard to pick up past the Niner or the Ravens Commanders game, but I'm gonna go.
Outside of that, the Lions Cowboys.
Lions Cowboys game is also my game of the week. And I'm going Lions Cowboys game of the week.
And I'll go Washington and Baltimore.
That'll be my Lions Cowboys. Will be my action pack bang bang kind of game.
Set up the snacks.
Too. Yeah, 425. Or, I mean, then you go back-to-back. You get the Ravens Commanders at 1, and you get Dallas and Lions at 4.
That's a great day of football.
Back-to-back.
I'm excited.
And then you lead it into Monday Night Football, or Sunday Night Football, sorry, Bengals Giants in a must-win game for the
And then
Bengals.
Monday, it gets even better.
Yeah. And actually, give me, not game of the week, but shocker of the week, Falcons Panthers. As in, a close game that shouldn't be close. But I think it'll be a good game to watch, just because it's a division game.
All right.
And that kind of wraps everything up.
I'm excited. I think
it'll be a really good week of football.
We should have a lot to talk about next
week. It'll be crucial with some big games and
there's week 7 has some
a lot going on. So. And I mean, I'm that guy that knows ball. We'll see you next week.
And I'm Landon Defends. Thanks for watching.